Hey everybody, welcome back. Well, the great titan Mark Carney goes to Washington and now he meets Donald Trump. Should we be worried that these two guys got together? More than you could imagine on both sides of the border. They thought that Mark Carney was going to save Canada. Saving Canada might be what is in you to think you're going to do. But there's a bigger agenda apparently on the table for Mr. Carney and the relationship with Canada that he continues to say new relationship. The relationship is his vision and Trump's vision are not aligned. That is for sure. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Rat Network. I'm David Solomon, flying solo today as Stuart is away yet again at a conference, wishing him luck. The Rant Network, we're usually ranting all about politics, crazy stuff in modern life, and so much more. We're unedited, uncensored, unfiltered, and I promise you, we are so unapologetic in what we do. So sit back and relax today as I going through the quirks of modern life. We talk about all these roller coaster of stuff and the new world that we're in, ladies and gentlemen, where we comment all about our perspectives on life. So on Tuesday, Mark Carney, his first thing as prime minister was to fly down to Washington to meet Donald Trump. Now, after the Vladimir Zelensky fiasco in the White House, people are watching body language. The body language of the two people, whoever Donald Trump sits with, they're just watching it all the time. And we've seen leader after leader come through there, from Benjamin Netanyahu to Keir Starmer. And now, here, lo and behold, after a Vladimir Zelensky not long ago, you have Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney. Now, Mark Carney ran in Canada on the idea that it's time for a new relationship and he's the best person to negotiate with Donald Trump. I disagreed. I voted as such. But Canadians have decided by a slim margin to give him the reins of power to go out and negotiate with Donald Trump. What he didn't say at all through the campaign is what he would want, what he demanded, what arrows are in his quiver where he can go and negotiate with Donald Trump. You see, Trump has threatened Canada with tariffs. He's also threatened Canada by saying, we don't need your lumber. And now he even said we don't need our cars. Now, what we've learned about Donald Trump is simple. Trump throws out a lot of noise, makes a lot of statements, and then finds a way to backpedal, remove, and there's a negotiation, and then there's a settlement of some kind. Now, we've yet to see one country agreement yet. Yes, these things do take time. Let's not get real. We're not here to talk about that in 10 seconds. We can redo an entire trade agreement. But the threat of tariffs has awoken a lot of people. We've heard statements like global trade wars and all that kind of stuff. And really, we're in a very interesting time of renegotiation and repositioning. And that's what Mark Carney's been hoping for. Mark Carney is I've said it all. We've said it a long time already. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. He loves to run around and tell everybody what I'm okay. I'm going to make it better for you. But the reality is that Mark Carney has an agenda. And it goes back to the time where he served in England, Bank of England as his governor. You see, he's wanted to change and do what's called the Great Reset. Basically, take away the US power. That's right. The US dollar would not be the world's reserve currency. Rather, we're going to create a new one, a more global digital currency, which he called the synthetic hegemonic currency, basically to reduce the dollar's dominance. He wanted to cripple the United States economy. If true, the United States would just dive into this massive recession. The dollar status of the world's currency means that the dollar is used globally for trade and finance. That's the baseline. But if the dollar were to lose that status, according to some experts, not only would faith in the United States economy collapse, but $2.25 million, would be $1 trillion of money, which is go back to the US, no power, no value. What that means is the United States economy would crumble. Who would applaud? China, Russia, North Korea, Iran. All the people that have been trying to cripple the United States, they would be applauding it. And quietly, Mark Carney is gathering world leaders to say, go, guy, you do it. It's kind of crazy, no? This whole notion of capitalism, I don't understand. Why would you want to destroy the US economy if you believe in capitalism? Well, Mark Carney has this kind of strange ambition, apparently, and he really wants his great reset. He reimagines capitalism in a way of a kind of a relationship between the government and business. Sounds good in theory. Sounds lovely. What someone termed a, I don't know, soft socialism. Let's all work together for the greater good. Now, let's be realistic here, okay? I- Change is very difficult, and this is not utopia. You can't just all go get together and everybody is all wonderful. It's like all kumbaya. But many progressives have decided that they want to take away America's power. Now, Mark Carney cannot do that on his own. The Canadian economy at 40 million people isn't strong enough to do that. He needs allies. That includes guys like the UK, that includes guys like France, that includes even India, and includes a lot of other countries that might look at this and go, it sounds like an interesting idea. Now, if you think that this is good for the United States economy, make no mistake, it isn't. In fact, it's not even really that great for Canada. But Mark Carney doesn't seem to care about that. Mark Carney cares about himself. He had his own agenda, and that's what works for him. And now Donald Trump knows exactly what's going on. We saw this with the bond market, where the bond market moved Donald Trump in such a way that he had to really backpedal on some of those global tariffs. Carney was behind that. This is what's going on. Carney is not exactly the most powerful person in the room, but he's the most intellectually powerful person in the room and knows how to really rattle the US economy. Now, if you cripple the US dollar and you try to create this new international currency, sure, you hurt the United States. And you think that Carney is in a position of power to go out and negotiate with Trump in as such. And if you watch, let's go back to the body language. Carney ate a lot of crow yesterday as Trump referred to, once again, Canada, the 51st state. Let's go and we'll buy Canada. And Carney's like, no, Canada's not for sale. And all these body language experts are trying to decide Trump versus Carney and Carney how he is. And they call them stoic and they call them great. Because really, deep down in Carney's mind, he thinks he's got the card to play. That he has leaders around the world, members of the World Economic Forum, that want this new society, this great reset. And if he puts in place this great reset, Trump will come to his knees. That's the threat. So is it a real negotiation? What you see here right now is, Carney's calling it the new relationship between Canada and the United States. A new relationship. Kind of like, let's flip it on its edge, people. That Canada is now in a position of power. Is this the negotiation we're looking for? Is this what Canada wants? It's interesting that during the campaign, Carney kept referring to the United States as, historically, look at our relationship, how great it was with the United States. And now Carney is trying to use his upper hand, allegedly, to flip the relationship, to put the ball in Canada's court to be more powerful than the United States. Well, that means for Canada to win, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea will win as well. So for Carney to give Canada the big win that he's hoping for, is that what we want? Do we want to give these rogue nations that much power? China's already done enough damage in the world. Russia, we've seen what they've done. Iran, a terrorist state. So if you cripple the United States and its economy, what happens? Does Carney really care? Europe's given up on being the world's police person. We got it. That role has been dumped on the United States. We see that as Canada has reduced its military commitment, as has many members of NATO. Because the United States will just do the job. will continue to do the job, to fight for Western values. Ha ha ha. But if Carney gets his way and the US economy falls apart, who's going to defend Canada? Who's going to defend England, France, and the Western world? If the United States doesn't have the might to do so, then you just give them the keys to the castle to Russia, China, Iran, and all those rogue nations. So is Carney really truly the kind of leader we need right now? Is Carney the guy? Well, we're stuck with him. We're done. And while many around the world are applauding this guy as a great economist, as the guy who saved England and saved Canada in the great, 2008, and the head of central banks, and he became a global cheerleader for climate change and all these other things. He's a great guy. But deep down, he's about to cripple the world. Is this what we want? That's what's scary. And if Donald Trump can defend the United States, Canada might get hurt because of Carney's solo project. This idea, Canada allied with Russia, China. Didn't we just say that Russia is bad? Didn't we just say China is, has election interference and is not exactly a friend of Canada's? Didn't we just say Iran is supporting terrorists? And now we're ready to cripple the United States and empower those nations. Makes you go, doesn't it? Makes you wonder, what did we just do in Canada? So when the United States media, doesn't put this on the front page, and they didn't, because China, of course, was way more important. Nobody paid attention really that Canada joined China in retaliatory tariffs, the only country that did so. Other nations went immediately to the United States to negotiate. Canada retaliated with tariffs along with China. Strange, no? If Carney gets what he wants, and we are so tied to the U.S. economy, what do you think is going to happen here? What do you think is going to happen in Canada? Our auto industry is tied into the U.S. auto industry. We're dependent on the United States to sell steel and aluminum, lumber, other minerals. We're so tied into the U.S. economy that crippling it should mean crippling Canada. Is this what we want, Canadians? Well, we have him. You voted him in. And now we're stuck with Mark Carney as this ringleader. This is a frightening time, ladies and gentlemen. It's scary. Yes, maybe you could say that Donald Trump threw down the gauntlet, and had he not started with tariffs, we wouldn't be here. But apparently that was not ever in Mark Carney's ideology. His ideology was to take over Canada and lead the world great reset. That was always his great ambition. The socialist ideas that he has is aligned with what Justin Trudeau was going at and what where the Liberal Party has gone to. Off the ledge, left economics, left policies, left the socialism, and we're going to pay the price. We hear it in his foreign affairs. We hear where he stands, and he's sending Canada down a path of disaster. And we're smiling. And what we care about? Body language. We should be scared for our pockets, not our body. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of the Rant Network. Hope you got something out of this. We're looking forward to seeing you again on Friday. We're on the www.therantnetwork.com. Please come there. Check out the YouTube videos that we've got there, or go straight to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel has all the hundreds and hundreds of episodes that we've had. Enjoy it, listen, have a good laugh, reflect upon what was. What we do here is a lot of fun, and we look forward to getting your comments and your feedback on what we've said. Not everything we agree with, but that's okay. That's what makes this fun. So we look forward to seeing you again